Hello student, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. Myself Dr. Baljinder Singh Gill, Assistant Professor from the Department of Biotechnology, Punjab University, Chandigarh. And today we will discuss about the module that is a use of nanoparticle for the water purification under the paper that is a nano biotechnology. Let us start with the introduction. Now, water pollution, that is any contaminant present in the water body that cause harmful effect to the living organism, that is called the water pollution. Now the water pollutant that cause pollution in the water, that may be the dyes, pesticides, organic pollutant, polyaromatic hydrocarbons, heavy metals. These are some of the common example which create the problem or which involved in the water pollution also. Now water pollution, it can be point from the type, according to the type it may be the point or it may be the non-point source, that is the source of water contaminant. Non-point source, these are the point source. First we will discuss point source. Point source are the, that is from the wastewater from the industries. Second is non-point, that is rainwater, that is collect water from the different region, that is a non-point source. Now the, we know, quality of drinking water, it is a necessity for the mankind, and unfortunately our around about 1 billion people around the world, they do not get the safe water, and among these 800 million people, they belong to the, that is from the rural area or from the village area. Now it is also a big challenge to get a safe drinking water. Now because now it is a lot of that is problem is also due to the anthropogenic activity. Now the India is a developing country. Now the main source for water, it is a from the ponds, that is from the groundwater or lake. These are the source that can be used for the agriculture as well as the domestic purpose. And also we know that 90 around, this is only the 4% of the total water. 97% that is are present in the ocean extra. So the problem is worldwide, and the contaminated sites are increasing day by day. Again, there are a lot of methods are available: physical, chemical, biological methods are available for the treatment of this environmental or the water pollutant. But again, these have the limitation. Now the first, for example, biological method even have the limitation because it results in the formation of sludge in the that is in the secondary treatment process, because this process occur in mainly three steps. One is the primary treatment, secondary treatment, then the tertiary treatment. Primary, it is a physical process where the sedimentation takes place. Second one is secondary unit, where the, that is a biological and chemical method are involved. Third one is the tertiary treatment, where chemical, physical and biological methods are involved. Now sludge, secondary method, biological method itself produce a large sludge, and it is also create a problem because we required a unfertile land for their dumping also. So these also, the, we know the chemical and physical method, they are not the cost effective method, and also result in the formation of toxic substance, and even these are also not a cost effective method. So nowadays the, because I am also discussing with you the special case of environmental pollution, that is from the Buddha Nala, as shown in the slide also. But now the nanoparticle, because of their unique property, they have remarkable potential to remediate this water pollutant. So now let us start with the objective, and the main objective of this chapter or the module is, that is the first one, student will understand the various nanoparticle used for the water pollutant remediation. Second, the student will understand the mechanism of removal of this pollutant by using the nanoparticle. Third one is, they also understand the mechanism, because carbon nanotubes and titanium dioxide, they are mainly used for the remediation, removal of this water pollutant. Student will understand the mechanism of removal of this by using these two nanoparticles. And last is, that is, student will understand the application of this nanoparticle for the removal of this water pollutant. Now the various nanoparticle, and they are used in the removal of environmental pollutant. Now because nanoparticle, they have, or the nanomaterial, they have the unique property high surface to volume ratio, and these are responsible for their, because they also have the photocatalysis mechanism, and they have strong adsorption toward the pollutant and also enhanced redox mechanism also. That is why they are mainly used to remediate the environmental pollutant. Now any remediation method for the pollutant, it should meet the four conditions. The first one is, that is, it should be the cheapest method. Second one, it should be the, there should be the recycle of this treatment agent. Third one is, it should be the cost effective also, and also there is non toxic product formation also. Now the nano, that is a nanomaterial which are mainly used for the remediation of this environmental pollutant, they are mainly according to their nature of mechanism, or the action, or according to their nature, that is of three types. One is nano adsorption. Here the nanoparticle, they absorb the various environmental or the water pollutant. Second one is nanocatalyst. For example, the best example is titanium dioxide, which can act as a, which show the mechanism of photocatalysis. Third one is nanomembrane or nanofiltration. Example is reverse osmosis and nanofiltration, where the nanoparticle are used for the preparation of this membrane from where the water is passed through and get treated. Nanoadsorption. The capability of the nanoparticle or the nanomaterial to absorb gases or the dissolved substance on their surface, that is called nanoadsorption. Here the adsorbed molecule, they are called adsorbate, and the nanomaterial, they are called nanoadsorbent. It is just like the chromatography or the column chromatography or the thin layer chromatography, where the material that are adsorbed, that is called adsorbate, and that is the column which adsorb, on which the material are adsorbed, that are called adsorbent. But here the term we use nanoadsorbent because nanomaterial are used. Here the small size and the larger surface area of this nanoparticle, they increases the adsorption capacity of the nanomaterial for the adsorption of heavy metals and organic pollutant on their surface. And like where the chromatography, in thin layer chromatography, the adsorption, because the principle is adsorption and partitioning. Here also, therefore the adsorption will depend upon the partitioning coefficient as well as the adsorption coefficient of the pollutant on the surface of these nanoparticles. And the most commonly used nanoparticle which are used or which show the phenomena nanoadsorption, they are carbon nanotubes, dendrimers, and oxide based nanoparticles. CNT, carbon nanotubes as a nanoadsorbent. Carbon nanotubes, they are widely studied area or the material that have the capability to remove heavy metals, dyes, as well as the organic pollutant like pesticide residues from the wastewater through the adsorption phenomena or through the adsorption process. It show the high adsorption capacity as compared to the conventional granular and the powdered activated carbon technique, which are used to remove the pollutant, and it also involves the chemical interaction. What is the mechanism behind the adsorption of polar and non-polar compound? That is, it involves chemical interaction for polar compound and physical interaction for the non-polar compounds. And CNT surface, they are highly hydrophobic in nature, and in the aqueous solution or in the aqueous form, they aggregate to form the 4 probable sites for the adsorption of different water contaminant. These sites are internal sites, interstitial sites or channels, outer surface, and external grooves. As shown in the figure 1, that is a internal site, second one is a interstitial channel, and third one is the outer, that is outside surface, fourth one is the external groove. Now the question arises, where the maximum adsorption occurred? Maximum adsorption that is occurred in the outer surface and grooves, because they are in direct contact with the pollutant or the contaminant or the adsorbing material. So adsorption equilibrium, it reaches more rapidly on the external side, that is outer surface and grooves, because they are in direct contact with the adsorbing material. So the overall adsorption activity of CNT, it increases by the surface modification. Very important phenomena. By modifying or by functionalization, that is with both covalent and non-covalent functionalization as well as modification, we can increase, and also researchers try to increase the adsorption activity of these carbon nanotubes. Covalent functionalization, that is of CNT, it is mainly of two types. One is defect and second one is sidewall modification. In the defect modification, that is a functional group, because they are attached to increase the interaction with the contaminant for the removal of that particular contaminant or pollutant. Functional group, they are present at the end of CNTs, carbon nanotubes, and they have capability to bond with other functional group. In the sidewall, as the name indicates, there is a covalent bonding of functional group on the sidewall of the carbon nanotubes. As we have already discussed in the previous module, that carbon nanotubes, they have wall-like structure, that is a single-walled carbon nanotubes, multi-walled nanotubes. That is why the sidewall, if sidewall or they are involved in the covalent bonding of functional group, then it is called sidewall modification. Non-covalent functionalization do not change the physical property of these carbon nanotubes, because there is no covalent bond formation occurred, and also they keep the structure intrinsic sp2 hybridization of orbital that remain unchanged, because it is a non-covalent interaction. It mainly involves the pi-pi interaction between the conjugated molecule and the sidewall of the carbon nanotubes, that is group present on the sidewall of the carbon nanotubes. Second method of non-covalent modification or functionalization, it involves non-covalent hydrophobic interaction with the surface of carbon nanotube in a aqueous solution that reduces the hydrophobic interface between the carbon nanotubes and their polar environment also. This is the diagram which showing the both the pi-pi interaction, that is a non-covalent functionalization between the sidewall of the carbon nanotubes and the contaminant or other functional group which are attached to increase the adsorption capacity of the carbon nanotubes. Similarly, hydrogen bonding are also involved with the functional group. Electrostatic group or the interaction are also involved if the group carry any charged molecule or the charged functional molecule. This diagram also shows the covalent as well as the non-covalent, that is pi to pi interaction, as shown in the red font, that is a red functional group, that is there is a pi to pi interaction of functional group with the sidewall of the carbon nanotubes. In the covalent modification, there is a covalent interaction between the functional group of these carbon nanotubes with the, that is a molecule or the functional group that are attached to increase the adsorption capacity. Other method of the surface modification of this carbon nanotube, they include the acid treatment, and it is a mainly used treatment method is acid treatment. Metal or the chemical functionalization, it is a chemical functionalization, it is mainly involved, but metal, that is incorporation of this metal, that is not a common used method. And this acid treatment, it always required different kind of acid like sulfuric acid, hydrogen chloride, then there is a nitric acid, hydrogen chloride, nitric acid, and this acid not only remove the impurities but also that is present on the carbon nanotubes, but also result in the chemical modification because it expose the site of this carbon nanotubes. So there is a, because it also provides some type of charges, that is why the adsorption capacity or the adsorption, it increases when the contaminant it become in contact with this carbon nanotubes. Next is the heavy metal adsorption on the carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes have different adsorption affinity for different heavy metal ion, and this adsorption capacity of carbon nanotubes toward heavy metals ion, it is mainly depend upon the value of pH, and it is also effective over a broad range of pH. Now the mechanism of this heavy metal ion adsorption on CNT carbon nanotubes, they are mainly involve the chemical interaction, physical adsorption, electrostatic attraction, that is between heavy metal ion and the functional group present on the CNT surface or the carbon nanotube surface. The factor that affecting the adsorption of this heavy metal ion, they are the surface charge, ionic form of heavy metal ions, whether it is present in the single valent ion, double valent ion or the triple valent ion in the solution, and the experimental conditions such as carbon nanotube mass, initial metal ion concentration, temperature and the contact time. Here is one important, that is a point that is called point of zero charge. It is a very important in the adsorption of heavy metal on the surface of CNT because pH is a main parameter that is involved in the adsorption of this heavy metal on the surface of CNT. Point to zero charge, it is a pH value at which the charge density on a surface of carbon nanotube, it is 0, and it is an important parameter in adsorption of pollutant on the carbon nanotube surface. Substrate in aqueous solution that have higher point to zero charge ratio or the value, in that case the negative surface charge from the deprotonation, they favor for the adsorbing cation through the electrostatic interaction. The adsorption of cation ion, it decreases with decreases in the pH due to the neutralization of surface charge. In contrast, a surface placed in the solution that is having lower than P point to charge ratio, the positive surface, that is from the protonation, they favor for the adsorbing anion through the electrostatic interactions. That is shown in the figure also, where the raw CNT, that is a raw carbon nanotubes, where the point to charge ratio is 6.6, and second one is the modified, that is chemically modified, where the pH point to charge ratio become 3.1, as shown in the figure, that it, as the point to charge ratio increases or decreases, it favor the negative surface charge, as shown in the diagram, it favor the adsorbing of cation, and the positive surface, it favor the adsorbing of anion. Now the organic pollutant removal by using CNT. We have studied in the previous slide that CNT carbon nanotubes, they have the capability to remove the organic pollutant as well as the heavy metals. How they remove this heavy metal or the organic pollutant? Because of their characteristic property, nano size, and also because of their various modifications, functional modification, and which allowed the absorption of this organic pollutant. Now the various interactions which are involved in this removal, these are the pi-pi interaction. We have already discussed in the previous slide also. Then the hydrogen bonding, ionic interaction, because when ions or the ionic groups are present on the functional group, they attract other ionic group. So there is also a ionic interaction for the removal of this organic pollutant. So CNT or the carbon nanotubes, they are most commonly used for the remediation of water pollutant, and the mechanism is of their absorption, that is their structure, then that may be the multi-walled carbon nanotubes or maybe the single-walled carbon nanotubes. Next, nanoadsorbent that are used, that is a dendrimer nanoparticle, which are also used as a nanoadsorbent like CNT. It is used for removing organic pollutant as well as heavy metals like carbon nanotubes. Heavy metal, they are absorbed by the tailored exterior branches on dendrimer, whereas organic compound, they are mainly absorbed by the anterior hydrophobic shells. As shown in the figure, there is a surface group as well as the branches. We have already discussed the structure of dendrimer in the previous module. So an exterior surface with functional group, they are mainly involved in the removal of organic compound, whereas interior branches, they are involved in the removal of that is a organic compound. But the tailored or the exterior surface with functional surface group, they are involved in the removal of heavy metals. Now the dendrimer conjugated magnetic nanoparticle, they are also used by the researcher for removal of these heavy metals. For example, amine terminated, that is polyamidoamine, PAMAM dendrimer, it have high binding affinity for metal ion to their surface through coordination to the amine. Next is the oxide based nanoparticle, which are used as a nanoadsorbent. Example are zinc oxide, that is a zinc oxide nanoparticle, magnesium oxide nanoparticle. These are mainly used for the removal of organic pollutant as well as heavy metal. And next is the single iron, where the Fe3O4 and the binary Fe3O4 nanoparticle, they are mainly used for the removal of heavy metal from the water. That is due to the oxidation state of this iron particle or the iron element, because in the aqueous solution, this iron form change into undergo oxidation to change ferrous then ferric, and then they further reduces the organic pollutant that come in contact with this iron element or the iron oxide element. Next, that is a nanocatalyst. Nanocatalyst, it involves the photocatalyst, electrocatalyst and phantom based catalyst. But photocatalyst, it is mainly used in for the remediation of pollutant. And we have already discussed that a photocatalyst activity, it is mainly shown by the titanium dioxide, that is a nanoparticle which show excellent photocatalyst phenomena, that is in the presence of light they can act as a catalyst. And photocatalyst it is defined as catalytic reaction which lead to the production of catalyst by absorption of light. The majority of common photocatalysts are the sulfide semiconductor or the metal oxide like titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. They are the excellent example of photocatalytic nanoparticle. But for the removal of this organic pollutant or heavy metals or any other pollutant or contaminant, titanium dioxide are mainly used because of their excellent photocatalytic activity. Now the photocatalyst by the titanium dioxide. Photocatalytic treatment using titanium dioxide, it is a well-known advanced oxidation process where the overview of mechanism is that when light absorbs titanium dioxide surface, electrons are released, and this electron released, they combine with the oxygen molecule to form the superoxide ion. These superoxide ion, due to the release of electron, the surface of the titanium dioxide become positive charge, that is hole are created, and they take electron from the moisture of air or from the moisture that lost electron and become hydroxyl ion. So these are the basic overview of the mechanism. The detail is that this titanium dioxide, it is mainly the consist of semiconductor, because there is a appropriate position of valence band as well as a conduction band. The photocatalytic removal of pollutant in water using titanium dioxide, it mainly occurred through a series of hydroxylation reaction that is initiated by the hydroxyl radical also. Now when the energy, that is a photon of energy of greater or than equal to the valence band as well as the conduction band, it is illuminated on the surface of titanium dioxide, the lone pair or the lone electron, they will photoexcited to the empty conduction band. The excitation of this nanomaterial by a photon, it results in the production of free electron and a hole in the titanium dioxide photocatalyst. And this charged particle, they drift to the surface and then interact with the organic molecule that is present in the close to this proximity. So the electron, they are mainly involved in the reduction reaction as shown in the figure, while holes, they are involved in the oxidation reaction, because holes are positive charge. When they come in contact with the water molecule, they produce OH radical plus that is hydrogen ion, and electron, they react with the dissolved oxygen to produce the reactive oxygen species like superoxide ion, and this generated superoxide ion, they degrade the pollutant present near the or present near close proximity to these radicals. So there are two main mechanisms as shown in the figure. One is the reactive oxygen species production that involved in the degradation of pollutant, and second one is the peroxide radical that actually damage the cell. So the generated reactive oxygen species or the peroxide radical, superoxide radical, they degrade the pollutant and they react with the water molecule to produce the peroxide radical as well as the hydroxide ion. These produced peroxide radical, they further react with the hydrogen ion to produce hydroxide radical and hydroxide ion. So the whole, they oxidize hydroxide ion to form the hydroxide radical, and this radical further damage the function and structure of various microorganisms like the gram positive bacteria as well as the gram negative bacteria. So the main parameter which affect the photocatalytic process, that is the pH of two solution. One is that of degraded and second one is the pH of catalytic solution that are formed during the preparation of this catalyst. And second main parameter that is which affect the photocatalytic process, that is a oxidizing agent. Next is the last is the nanomembrane filtration. Nanomembrane, they are mainly used for the removal of organic pollutant, and also they are capable of removing heavy metals also, and they are mainly consist of either polymers nanofibers or nanopore membranes or the polymer nano layers. The nanomembrane filtration we will discuss also in the next module, that is the removal of water from water pollutant, when we will discuss about the nanomembrane, where the reverse osmosis membrane, nanofiltration membrane, because these membrane are designed according to the pore size. And these nanomembrane, they are typically have pore size that is ranging from 1 to 50 nanometer, because they are capable of filtering out almost all bacteria and many harmful, that is a substance present in the solution. So in this module we have studied the various nanoparticle, carbon nanotubes, their mechanism for the removal of water pollutant through nanoadsorption, then the titanium dioxide photocatalysis mechanism, how the photocatalysis mechanism, they produce radicals that helps, or the molecules that helps in the removal of this water contaminant, and also their application also. Mainly this method, by using this nanomaterial for the removal of water pollutant, because it is a most advanced method, and it result in the, also it is a chemical free method. There is no any chemical are involved for the removal of, and it is also a cost effective method also. Then there is a reusability is also applicable here. Now because we have already studied in this module the various nanoparticle, one nanoparticle that is also called zero valent nano zero valent ion, that is also used for the removal of this water pollutant, that we will discuss in the coming module, where the bioremediation of this nano zero valent ions are involved in the bioremediation of a water pollutant also. Because in the aqueous solution, this iron, this exists in the elemental form, which change into, that is in the ferric ion, ferrous ion, then ferric ion, which undergo the oxidation process, and this lead to the reduction of environmental pollutant which are present at their close proximity. So that's all about this module. Thank you very much.